Now, in life we go through ups and downs, and sometimes things are not going our way. Now, this can be hard, of course. But recently I came across a very inspiring Chinese story called Sai Weng Shi Ma, also known as the old man who lost his horse. So, once upon a time, there was an old Chinese farmer whose horse ran away. His neighbors heard the news and came to comfort him. They said, "We are so sorry to hear your horse has run away. Such bad luck." The farmer said, "Maybe." The next day the horse came back and brought 7 wild horses with it. In the evening the neighbors came to the farmer's house and said, "Wow, that's great, isn't it?" The farmer again said, "Maybe." The next day his son tried to tame one of the wild horses, and while riding it he was thrown and broke his leg. Again all the neighbors came around and said, "Well, that's too bad, isn't it?" And the farmer responded, "Maybe." The next day the conscription officers came around looking for people to join the army, and they rejected his son because he had a broken leg. All the neighbors came around that evening and said, "Isn't that wonderful?" And the farmer said, "Maybe." Now the moral of this story is this. It is very easy for us to develop negative mindsets when something bad happens to us. But in reality, things you might perceive as bad might turn out to be great. But also the other way around is possible. Things you might perceive as great might turn out to be not that great. So it is really impossible to tell if anything that happens to you is good or bad, because we simply don't know the consequences that our good or bad events may bring in the future. Life is uncertain. So often it is less about dividing life into good or bad events, but more about how you respond to it. As the famous Sadhguru mentions,
So it's not about being positive, negative. The important thing is, at this stage in your life, you just focus on enhancing this life. Don't worry about what it will yield. You should not worry about what this life is going to yield. What it yields depends on times in which we are, many other aspects of life. But if this is an enhanced life, it will yield something worthwhile.